how do you keep the ordinary fans happy and make them understand that for the game to survive, they need to potentially, I would argue, get out of the mindset of when I grew up, it was 15 quid a ticket, therefore that's how it should stay. So, what? Obviously, if you had all the answers, you probably wouldn't be working in whiskey. But
I probably still would be.
What do you think? What do you see, having been in the game now, on the fringes of the game, looking at it through a lens of professionalism? What do you see the low hanging fruit, and then the bigger picture thinking being to improve the situation that the game's in?
I think there's a couple of things. There's a bit of a disconnect between the professional game and the amateur game, no matter where you go. But the amateur game pays for the professional game. They're the people that attend the games, they're the people that buy merchandise, and if they're disgruntled, they don't come to games. And I think I played in Wales for 5 years, and I got a lot of stick for this a couple of weeks ago. So they moved the Ospreys versus Cardiff game to Bridgend, and they played, which I've got no issue with because there's contractual issues with the Swansea Stadium, so they can't use it. They're not the main tenant there. So they played at Bridgend, fine, not an issue. It was a mud bath, again, not an issue. It's old school rugby, and it's quite entertaining over Christmas. And they parked up a big HGV lorry behind the dead ball, and people were watching the game in a trailer with like a leather, the big curtain, like a haulage lorry. And I sort of said, this makes a bit of a joke of the league, and I got a load of stick. This is the best game. It was the best game of the year, and the fans loved it, and it's back to the original days. I'm like, you're completely missing the point. The point I'm trying to make is, at a time, like you said, when the game is probably struggling financially and you need sponsors and you need to have it at its best as many times as you can when people are watching it. That's not rugby at its best. And if you want people to engage and you want people to sponsor it and you want people to get involved, every time you get to showcase it, it's got to be looking spot on. So I think there's a bit about that. I think most teams are, a bit more savvy with it in terms of how they use social media, how they market, how they look for sponsorship. But it's about creating global superstars. And I think there's a few that are doing it. Probably Sia Khaleesi, probably people that are managing to transcend the sport a little bit. The more of those you get in the game, the more global superstars you get, and the more you embrace that, the better the game will be. And I think women's rugby will probably be a big part of that. How do you
Lions Tour just been announced as well.
Exactly. How do you engage 50% of the population? And the reality we have is that most people, I've got kids, they play rugby, the mums are heavily involved. Mums are massive drivers. Certainly in my house, my wife pretty much is the complete, chief of staff in our house. She runs it. She knows exactly what's going on. And if they're not going to play rugby, the mums are a huge part of that. So the women's game would be a huge part moving forward. And it probably, I think looking at, summer rugby the answer? Is a global international calendar the answer? It's just so confusing and complicated because the game is governed by large bodies who are historically run the game, and they've run the game and made huge amounts of money from it. So what incentive is there to change that?
Yeah,
it's a really tricky one, but I do think playing less games is probably the answer. So you get less average games, you've got to get teams with bigger playing budgets. You've seen that at the moment. Teams are folding and they don't have the playing budgets, and you're going to end up with leagues with no player budget, salary cap, where they just end up wiping the floor with other teams.
Do you have faith in the future?
Yeah, I do. I think rugby's it's one of, if not the best team sport to play.
I'd say the.
Yeah, we're biased because we played it and we're from Scotland and we're not particularly good at American football or other team sports.